Coming up next, it is Wauseon versus Heritage Christian. This is going to be a showdown of the Synaptic Samurai. Only one team can leave victorious. Who's it going to be? Only one way to find out. BGSU's Brain Game starts right now. And welcome to BGSU's Brain Game. It is Wauseon versus Heritage Christian. Let's meet our teams. We're going to start off with Wauseon. Tell us who you are.
I'm Joe. I'm a senior. To my left, we have Angela. She's a senior. And to my right is Noah, and he's a sophomore.
And you're
we
coached
are coached by
Oh,
Adam Baird.
Who?
Adam Baird.
All right, welcome to you. Heritage Christian, tell us who you are.
I'm Isaac. I'm a junior. To my left, I have Andrew. He's a senior. To my right, I have Mackenzie. She's a junior, and we're coached by Laura Lindwall.
All right, welcome to both of our teams. As we move to our toss-up round, in this round, all questions are worth 10 points. No deduction for an incorrect answer, so you can play a little bit looser on your buzzers and have some fun in this round. You may confer before buzzing in, and you can steal a question in this round. Wauseon, Heritage Christian, are you ready for the toss-up round? All right, it starts right now. Which general type of glacier is categorized as dome-shaped, flowing away from a central region and largely unaffected by underlying topography? Continental or ice sheet? In scene 3 of the play, Mary was alone on the stage. She sat looking into the fireplace while talking to herself. What do we call this type of dramatic monologue? That would be Wauseon. Angela?
Soliloquy.
Correct. Which muscle that runs from the buttocks to the back of the thigh is often strained by athletes? That would be Heritage Christian. Isaac?
The hamstring.
Correct. F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Diamond as Big as the Ritz is primarily set in which state? Wauseon. Joe?
New York.
Incorrect. Heritage Christian, would you like to steal?
California.
Isaac? Incorrect. Montana. Smog is an example of a word made by combining two other words. What do we call such words? That would be Heritage Christian. Isaac?
Compound.
Incorrect. Wauseon, would you like to steal? Time. Portmanteau words is what we needed there. Although President Theodore Roosevelt receives much credit as a great patron of the national parks and refuges, which U.S. president signed the act creating the National Park Service under the direction of the Department of the Interior in 1916? Wauseon. Noah?
Woodrow Wilson.
Woodrow Wilson is correct. The original price of a sweater is $40. The sweater goes on sale for 75% of its original price and is then marked down later for clearance at 50% of its sale price. What is the clearance? That would be Wauseon. Joe?
$15.
$15, yes. Materials such as a leaf, frosted glass, or wax paper all scatter light as it passes through. That would be Heritage Christian. Isaac?
Translucent.
Translucent is what we were looking for, yes. What word in literature is placed in front of the word action as a synonym for the denouement of a story after the climax has taken place? That would be Heritage Christian. Kenzie?
Falling.
Falling, yes. After Richard Nixon resigned his presidency in 1974 in the wake of the Watergate scandal, which then vice president, that would be Wauseon. Noah?
Ford.
Gerald Ford, yes. In addition to his Maximum Ride and Alex Cross series, this contemporary author also has created a middle school series that includes, that would be Wauseon. Angela?
James Patterson.
James Patterson, yes, is the author we were looking for. One of the most popular British heroes of the late 19th century, this explorer and missionary eventually died in Zambia at age 60. Who was this adventurer who searched for the source of, that would be Heritage Christian. Isaac?
David Livingstone.
David Livingstone, yes. In the history of the United States, there have been 5 presidents who have won the Electoral College, but not the popular vote. Give the full names of any three of these. Time. The five were John Quincy Adams, Rutherford B. Hayes, Benjamin Harrison, George W. Bush, and Donald J. Trump. Among the early labor unions in the United States, which founder of the American Federation of Labor has served as its president for almost 40 years? Samuel Gompers is what we needed there. What type of geometric transformation changes the size but preserves the shape of a polygon? Wauseon, Joe.
Scalar?
Incorrect. Heritage Christian, you do have the opportunity to steal. That would be Heritage Christian, Isaac.
Dilation.
Dilation is what we're looking for. Yes. All right, that is the end of the round. And with that answer, we are tied at 50 points. You're going to stick around to see what happens next because our head-to-head round is coming up next. And welcome back to BGSU's Brain Game. We are tied. Wauseon, Heritage Christian are standing at 50 points apiece as we move to the head-to-head round. Before we do that, though, let's check in with Heritage Christian. Look like you have a substitution. Who's joined your team?
We have Kenneth, and he's a junior.
All right, welcome to you. Wauseon staying with their lineup. All right, we are going to our head-to-head round. Goes a little something like this. All questions in this round are worth 10 points. There's a total of only 15 questions in the round. Both teams get a shot at them, but one team stays, the other team goes into isolation. Once the team answers all the questions or time expires, we will flip-flop. The team in isolation comes back into the studio. The other team heads to isolation. They get a shot at it. At the end, we see who's in the lead, or if we're still tied. But that we're tied now, we got to find out who stays and who goes. We had a coin toss in between rounds, and it looks like Heritage Christian, you are going to be sticking around. And Wauseon, you're heading to isolation. And that means Heritage Christian, it is now your time for the head-to-head round. Are you ready? Your head-to-head questions begin right now. In what year were the first of the Dead Sea Scrolls discovered?
Pass.
1947. What do we call the delicate netting that is used to make wedding veils and ballet costumes?
Duel.
Tool is what we needed, not duel. Square dancers pass back to back whenever this movement is called. Name it.
Pass.
Do-si-do. In a civil suit, this is the person who brings the suit to court. Identify the person or entity who is suing.
Defendant.
Plaintiff. Disbanded in 1856, this American political party split over the slavery issue into two factions known as the Cotton and Conscience Group. What was the name of this now defunct party?
The Whig Party.
Correct. Which of your body's organs synthesizes vitamin D?
Your skin.
Correct. In what state would you find the Mount Rushmore National Monument?
South Dakota.
Correct. What contemporary of Michelangelo painted St. George and the Dragon?
Pass.
Raphael. In Kate Chopin's The Awakening, how does Edna Pontellier meet her demise?
Pass.
Suicide or drowning. In Russian, it's called Ivan Grozny. What is the title of this ballet in English?
The Nutcracker.
Incorrect. Ivan the Terrible. What husband of Marie Louise was exiled on Elba?
Pass.
Napoleon Bonaparte. What Arthur Conan Doyle short story reveals Dr. Grimsby Roylett's plot to kill his stepdaughter Helen Stoner with the aid of an adder?
The Scarlet Band.
Incorrect, the speckled band. That bell indicates the end of the head-to-head round for Heritage Christian. That means you are now going to isolation. All right, let's bring back Wauseon. All right, welcome back to you. Are you ready for your 15 questions? All right, they start right now. In what year were the first of the Dead Sea Scrolls discovered?
1700 BC.
1947. What do we call the delicate netting that is used to make wedding veils and ballet costumes?
Lace.
Incorrect, tulle. Square dancers pass back to back whenever this movement is called. Name it.
Pass.
Do-si-do. In a civil suit, this is the person who brings the suit to court. Identify the person or entity who...
Plaintiff.
Correct. Disbanded in 1856, this American political party split over the slavery issue into two factions known as the Cotton...
Whig.
Whig Party, yes. Which of your body's organs synthesizes vitamin D?
Skin. Skin.
Correct. In what state would you find the Mount Rushmore National Monument?
North Dakota.
Incorrect, South Dakota. What contemporary of Michelangelo painted St. George and the Dragon?
Donatello.
Incorrect, Raphael. In Kate Chopin's The Awakening, how does Edna Pontellier meet her demise?
Suicide.
Suicide, yes, drowning. In Russian is called Ivan Grozny. What is the title of this ballet in English?
The Nutcracker.
Incorrect, Ivan the Terrible. What husband of Marie Louise was exiled on Elba?
Napoleon.
Napoleon, yes. What Arthur Conan Doyle short story reveals Dr. Grimsby Roylett's plot to kill his stepdaughter Helen Stoner with the aid of an adder?
Pass.
The Speckled Band. What slave of Ali Baba prevented him from being killed by the thieves in the tale Ali Baba?
Aladdin.
Incorrect. Morgana is what we needed there. Identify the foremost leader of the women's movement in the United States who was arrested for trying to vote in 1872. But
Anthony.
and will we accept that? Yes, we will. Susan B. Name the black slave found in Poe's The Gold Bug. They did not get in time. We were looking for Jupiter there. All right, Wauseon, that is the end of the head-to-head round for you. It is now time to clear our scores and bring back in Heritage Christian. All right, welcome back to you, Heritage Christian. Let's take a look at where we stand. Heritage Christian's score is 80 points, and Wauseon stands at 110 points. Still a very, very close competition, and things are going to get interesting in the next round. It's our category round where questions are worth 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30 points, but deductions start, so stay tuned. And welcome back to BGSU's Brain Game. It is Heritage Christian at 80 points and Wauseon at 110 points. Looks like Heritage Christian, looks like someone has rejoined your team. Who's back?
Andrew Ridenour, junior.
All right,
senior.
welcome back to you. Oh, he's a senior, junior to
Yeah.
senior, just like that. Not too bad. All right, Wauseon, looks like you're staying with the same lineup. All right. We are now moving to our category round, and things are starting to get serious because there are 6 categories in this round. Questions were 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30 points, but beware, you can lose the same number of points with an incorrect answer. If you go for 20, get it wrong, you lose 20. You may confer before buzzing in, not after, because that'll cause a deduction in points as well, and you may steal a question in this round. Heritage Christian, since you are at 80 points, you get the privilege of making the first selection.
World History Month for 15.
World History Month for 15 points. I will name a well-known event from From world history, you identify the month during which the event took place. Some months could be named more than once. Assassination of Julius Caesar. Wauseon, Joe.
March.
March is correct, and Wauseon takes control.
We'll go animated features for 10, please.
Animated features for 10 points. Identify each of the following 2017 animated features. Be sure to provide the complete title. Two mischievous and imaginative elementary school pranksters hypnotize their principal. That would be Heritage Christian. Isaac.
Captain Underpants.
Cannot accept that. That would be Steele for Wauseon. That would be Angela.
The Adventures of Captain Underpants.
Incorrect. We needed the complete title. As I said, Captain Underpants, the first epic movie is what we needed there. All right, Wauseon, still in control.
Animated features for 15, please.
Animated features for 15 points. 6 young friends, Lloyd, Jay, Kai, Cole, Zane, and Naya, are tasked with defending their island home. That will be the Lego Ninjago movie. All right, Wauseon, still in control.
Features for 20.
Animated features now for 20 points. Begins with supernatural powers joined together, beings with supernatural powers joined together to fight against supernatural villains. Justice League Dark is what we were looking for there. All right, Wauseon, still in control.
World History 10.
World History Month for 10 points. Declaration of Independence in the that would be Heritage Christian. Isaac.
July.
July is correct. Heritage Christian in control.
Let's do medical conditions for 10.
Medical conditions for 10 points. What disease is caused by insufficient insulin? Heritage Christian. Kenzie.
Diabetes.
Diabetes is correct. Heritage Christian in control.
Medical conditions for 15.
Medical conditions for 15 points now. What muscular disorder causes the spine to curve to one side? Heritage Christian. Kenzie.
Scoliosis.
Scoliosis, yes. Heritage Christian in control.
Medical conditions for 20.
Medical conditions for 20 points. What progressive disease of the brain results in memory loss, confusion? Wauseon, Joe.
Dementia.
Incorrect. Inaccurate reasoning ability and the inability to perform simple tasks. That would be Heritage Christian. Isaac.
Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's is what we needed there, yes. Heritage Christian in control.
World History Month for 20.
World History Month for 20 points. Abraham Lincoln delivers Gettysburg. That would be Wauseon, Joe.
September.
Time, I'm sorry, time, incorrect. Heritage Christian. November is what we needed there. All right, Heritage Christian in control.
The library for 10.
The library for 10 points. Identify each of the following people, ideas, or things associated with the library. Monetary penalty assessed if a book is not returned when, that would be Heritage Christian. Kenzie.
A late fee.
Will we accept that? We will accept that, yes. Heritage Christian in control.
The moon for 10.
The moon for 10 points. I will describe a term or give a clue relating to the moon. You identify the term. First day of summer in the northern hemisphere. That would be Heritage Christian. Isaac.
Summer solstice.
We will accept that, yes. Heritage Christian in control.
Fossils for 10.
Fossils for 10 points. Identify each of the following terms associated with fossils. The letter of each correct response will be provided. Cousins to the elephant that has been found in, that would be Wauseon. Noah.
Mammoth.
Mammoth, yes. Wauseon takes control.
World History 25.
World History for 25 points. Germany surrendered in World War II. Wauseon, Joe.
April.
Incorrect. Heritage Christian, would you like to steal? time. May is what we were looking for there. Wauseon still in control.
Oh, history for 30.
World history for 30 points. Sputnik 1 launched into low Earth orbit. October was the answer there. Wauseon still in control.
Medical conditions 25.
Medical conditions for 25 points. What condition occurs when the passageways to the lungs become inflamed? That would be Heritage Christian. Isaac.
Bronchitis.
Bronchitis, yes. Heritage Christian now in control.
The library for 15.
The library for 15 points. Presidential Library located in Dorchester, Massachusetts. That would be the John F. Kennedy Presidential Library. Heritage Christian in control.
The moon for 15.
The moon for 15 points. Adjective that describes a moon that is decreasing in appearance. That would be Wauseon. Noah.
Waning.
Waning, yes. Wauseon in control.
Moon for 20.
Moon for 20 points. Number of man-made time zones on Earth. That would be Wauseon. Joe.
24.
24 is correct. Wauseon still in control.
Moon 25.
Moon for 25 points. Grooves in the moon's surface which resemble, that would be Heritage Christian. Isaac.
Craters.
Incorrect. Resemble canals or, can I finish this? Canals or canyons? Wauseon, would you like to steal? They say no. Riley is what we needed there. All right, let's take a look at our score. We have Wauseon with 95 points and Heritage Christian at 145 points. Still very much anybody's game, because coming up next is our Brainstorm Round, where questions are worth 20 points and you can lose 20 points with an incorrect answer. Anybody's game. Stay tuned. And welcome back to BGSU's Brain Game. It is Wauseon at 95 and Heritage Christian at 145 as we move to our Brainstorm Round. In this round, all questions are worth 20 points, but beware, you can lose 20 points with an incorrect answer. Teams may confer before buzzing in, but you cannot steal. I repeat, you cannot steal a question in this round. Still anybody's game. Heritage Christian, Wauseon, are you ready? Brainstorm Round starts right now. In a 1922 expedition, Howard Carter gained world fame when he unearthed the intact tomb of which that would be Wauseon. Joe.
King Tut.
King Tut is correct. Which type of energy transfer takes place when molecules collide, causing the energy to pass from, that would be Wauseon. Joe.
Conduction.
Conduction, yes. Identify the direct object in the following sentence. Please give Mrs. Jackson the flowers you picked. That would be Heritage Christian. Isaac.
Flowers.
Flowers, yes. What is the coldest planet in our solar system? Wauseon. Joe.
Neptune.
Neptune is correct. Who penned the short story The Last Leaf? O. Henry. On which of the Hawaiian Islands would you find Waikiki Beach? That would be Heritage Christian. Isaac.
Oahu.
Oahu, yes. Your funny bone isn't really a bone at all. What causes the pain when you hit your funny bone?
I don't want to say it.
That's a nerve. Where can you find the world's largest gypsum dune field?
What does that even mean?
White Sands, New Mexico. What does a spelunker explore? That would be Wauseon. Joe.
Caves.
Caves is correct. This Russian dramatist was also a doctor. Two of his most famous plays are The Cherry Orchard and, that would be Wauseon. Joe.
Chekhov.
Chekhov, yes. Identify the second most abundant element in the universe. That would be Heritage Christian. Isaac.
Hydrogen.
Incorrect. Helium. In which Robert Louis Stevenson novel would you find the character Blind Pew? That would be Wauseon. Joe.
Treasure Island.
Treasure Island, yes. If a ballet dancer executes an odd number entre-shot, how will he land? On one foot. What grain is fermented to make sake? That will be Wauseon. Joe?
Rice.
Rice is correct. In a game of pool other than white, what is the color of the 8-ball? That would be Heritage Christian. Andrew?
Black.
Black is correct. If an artist is painting an en plein air, where is he or she painting? That would be Heritage Christian. Isaac?
Outside.
Outside, yes. What inventor of the telephone also founded, that would be Wauseon. Joe?
Bell.
Bell is correct. Fill in the blank. In this Hemingway short story with the popular mountain, the snow, that is the end of the round. Let's take a look at our score. We have Heritage Christian at 205, and our winner with 255 points is Wauseon. Let's give both these teams a big round of applause. In the spirit of good sportsmanship, let's meet in the middle, shake hands, and we'll see you at the next BGSU Brain Game.